Chosen one, have you been feeling strange pains in your body these past days? Sudden headaches, pressure on your chest, heaviness on your shoulders, fatigue that comes out of nowhere. This is not coincidence. This is not weakness. This is heaven marking you. When a new frequency is released, the body, as the first altar, responds. What feels like pain is actually proof. Proof that you're expanding. Proof that the invisible has already touched your life. And I ask you, will you treat these pains as random symptoms, or will you recognize them as prophetic signs? Because the chosen ones know. When the body speaks, the spirit has already crossed into a new time. Stay with me, because in the next moments, you will understand why your body's carrying these signs and why this September 23rd is the mark of transformation for the chosen ones. Chosen one, from the very beginning, the human body was never just flesh and bones. It was always meant to be a living altar, a temple where the invisible touches the visible. And when heaven decides to release something new, it is the body that shows the first signs. The pains you are feeling are not punishment, nor are they random. They are the silent language of the spirit manifesting through matter. It is as if your body were a screen where heaven writes the evidence of what is already happening in higher dimensions. Many are experiencing it, sudden heaviness in the shoulders, as if carrying an invisible burden, pressure in the head like something expanding inside the mind, discomfort in the chest, as if the heart were being pressed, unusual fatigue with no logical reason, or even pain in the back, as if your inner structures were being adjusted. This is not only physical, it is spiritual. The body feels it first because it is the first altar. When the spirit receives a new frequency, that energy must find space in matter. And if the body is not ready, it reacts with symptoms, exactly like a clay jar that groans when it is filled with more oil than it once carried. It is not destruction, it is expansion. Heaven chooses to reveal through the body because it knows you cannot ignore what you feel. You may dismiss subtle spiritual impressions. You may doubt dreams or vision, but you cannot pretend a pain does not exist. Pain forces you to stop, to pay attention, to ask, what is happening to me? And in that moment, revelation comes. This is not only physical, it is spiritual. Look back at your own journey. How many times before a major transition did your body react? Before big decisions, you felt anxiety or sleepless nights? Before deep changes, you carried symptoms medicine could not explain. That was never coincidence. It was heaven signaling that something was about to be born. So it is now. The pains are not telling you that you are weak, but that you are being shaped to carry the new. And here is something important. The body does not lie. It does not hide what the spirit already knows. When the spirit has stepped into a new season, the body must follow, even before you fully understand. That is why, on this September 23rd, so many chosen ones across the world are reporting the same symptoms. This is not isolated, it is collective. Heaven is touching an entire generation, and bodies everywhere are responding in unison. But do not fear. Pain is not the signal of destruction. It is the proof of realignment. It is like a string being tightened. At first there is tension, but soon after comes harmony. Your body is being tuned to resonate with the frequency heaven is pouring out. So when you feel the pain, do not complain. Do not despair. Breathe deeply and recognize heaven is adjusting me. What I feel is evidence that something new has already begun because the body reveals what the spirit has already crossed. And I ask you, will you treat this pain as an enemy, or will you honor it as a messenger? Will you resist it, or will you understand it as proof that you are no longer the same? Chosen one, heaven speaks in many ways, but today it has chosen to speak through your body. And if you are feeling it, it is because you have already been marked. Why the pains are happening now? Chosen one, nothing in heaven's timing is random. Even the pains you are feeling carry prophetic purpose because they are physical manifestations of something already released in the spirit. They are not showing up at just any moment. They are happening now because heaven has chosen this as a time of alignment and transition. Think for a moment. How many seasons have you lived where it felt like nothing was moving? Times when you prayed, waited, believed, yet the atmosphere seemed silent, unmoved. Those seasons were not wasted. They were hidden preparation. During that time, the structures within you were being strengthened, stretched, and reinforced for what is now arriving. And here on September 23rd, that hidden preparation turns into visible shift. Heaven has begun to release a new frequency, and your body, as the first antenna, reacts instantly. The pains are happening now because you have entered a season of expansion. When the human spirit is exposed to higher levels of divine energy, that vibration echoes through the flesh, and the flesh, being limited, must adjust. That adjustment is rarely smooth. It is often intense. This is why you feel aches, pressure, and sensations that defy ordinary explanation. They are not accidents. They are proof that you are moving forward. Another reason these pains are happening now is because this is not only a personal process, it is a collective transition. Around the world, chosen ones are reporting the same experiences: headaches, body aches, restless nights, sudden waves of fatigue or energy. This is not isolated. It is synchronized. It is heaven, stirring an entire generation at the same time, like a wave sweeping through every shore at once. The body feels pain now because it is acting as a translator of the unseen. Imagine a radio adjusting its dial to catch a new frequency. In the process, you hear static, distortion, interference. But once aligned, the sound comes through with clarity. Your body is that radio. As heaven shifts the frequency, your flesh reacts with static, pains, symptoms, tension. But soon after, the signal will come through clean. There is something even deeper. These pains are also part of a cleansing process. Every ache is like heaven, pushing out what no longer belongs. Old traumas, buried emotions, unhealed memories, spiritual weights, the body stores all of these. And when heaven sends new energy, it cannot mix with the old. So the body reacts, pressing, shaking, releasing. The pain you feel is actually evidence that the old is leaving and the new is making space. Why now? Because heaven has declared that this is the threshold. You cannot carry old baggage into the new season. The spiritual clock has struck, and when heaven marks the hour, the body obeys. That is why the pains feel more intense these days. It is not just biology, not mere exhaustion. It is prophetic timing. Chosen one, the pains are not meant to defeat you but to awaken you. They are here to remind you that the invisible is already manifesting. They are your body's way of shouting, "I am being transformed." Something new has begun. And so I ask you, will you dismiss the pain as meaningless? Or will you see it as the signpost it truly is. Will you resist, or will you recognize that it is proof heaven has already touched you? Understand this. The reason the pains are happening now is both simple and profound, because the appointed time has arrived. And when heaven decides the season has shifted, even your flesh cannot stay silent. Chosen one of the greatest keys you must understand in this season is this. Not everything your body feels is simply physical. Often, what appears as a symptom is actually a sign. The body is a temple, and temples respond to the presence of heaven. When a new frequency is released, it is not only the spirit that reacts, the body also manifests the change. In the natural world, pain and discomfort are explained only through biology. Tension, lack of sleep, stress, posture, illness. And yes, there are times when what you feel is purely physical. But when it comes to the chosen ones, you cannot stop at surface explanations. Because when heaven moves, the temple responds. So how do you discern between a natural symptom and a spiritual sign? Let me give you some keys. 1. The timing of the pain. If discomfort comes during a moment of spiritual transition, like now, when heaven has opened portals and released fresh energy, you must look beyond biology. A sudden headache, heaviness in the chest, or aching shoulders that coincides with unusual dreams, heightened intuition, or emotional release is not mere coincidence. It is heaven's code written in your body. 2. The persistence with purpose. When pain is spiritual in origin, it does not just linger without meaning. It carries a strange awareness. You sense that something deeper is happening, even if you cannot explain it. While physical pain often feels meaningless and draining, spiritual pain feels like movement, like something is being cleansed, shifted, expanded. 3. The connection with emotions. Notice how often your body's pain is accompanied by emotions rising to the surface. Pressure in your chest comes with sudden tears. Headaches arrive with memories you thought you had forgotten. Fatigue is tied to waves of release, grief, joy, or even laughter without reason. This is because the body stores what the soul has carried. When heaven chooses to release you, the body brings it all up at once. 4. The confirmation through collective signs. When you are not the only one feeling it, pay attention. In these days, chosen ones across the world are experiencing the same discomforts. This is not isolated coincidence. It is heaven confirming that a whole generation is being shifted. When multiple bodies bear the same witness at the same time, it is not natural. It is prophetic. Discernment does not mean ignoring your health. Care for your body, yes. Rest when needed. Drink water. Seek balance. But learn this. Doctors cannot explain what originates in the spirit. Many have gone through tests, received no diagnosis, and still feel the pain. That is because it is not illness, it is activation. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever had a sudden weight on your shoulders and immediately felt clarity about a burden you were carrying? That was not just muscle tension. It was revelation. Or perhaps you woke with a headache, only to realize later that your thinking was shifting. Your perspective was breaking open. That was not just strain, it was a sign. The body is a prophet in silence. It speaks when words cannot. It testifies when the spirit has crossed into a new time. And if you learn to listen, you will see that what feels like pain is often heaven's way of saying, I am doing something in you right now. So I ask you, how many times have you treated as random symptom what was actually heaven's message? How many times have you resisted discomfort without realizing it was the very proof you were being remade? Chosen one, from this day on, do not despise what your body feels. Ask the question, Spirit, what are you showing me through this? Because the line between natural and spiritual is not always clear, but for the chosen, it is always intentional. And here is the truth. Not every pain is sickness. Many are prophecy. Chosen one, there is a mystery that only those who are awake can understand. The body is always the first altar to respond when heaven moves. It does not wait for the mind to catch up. It does not ask for the emotions to agree. The very moment heaven releases a new frequency, the body reacts, because it was designed from the beginning to be a living temple, an altar that testifies to the invisible. This is why you are feeling unusual pains across your body in this season. Heaviness in the shoulders, pressure in the head, tingling sensations, sudden chills or heat, fatigue without reason, and aches that cannot be explained by routine. These are not meaningless inconveniences. They are the altar of your flesh responding to the fire of heaven. The body is an altar because it houses the spirit, and just as ancient altars would burn with the fire when heaven acknowledged a sacrifice, today the body burns with symptoms when heaven acknowledges its touch. The fire comes first, and then the altar responds. What you call pain is in fact the evidence that something holy has descended upon you. The body speaks in its own prophetic language. Unlike visions, which you can dismiss, or dreams, which you may forget, pain demands your attention. It forces you to acknowledge that something is happening. And heaven knows this, which is why it often allows the body to be the first responder when a shift is taking place. Consider this. Every part of the body carries prophetic symbolism. Heaviness in the shoulders points to burdens being exposed, weights you were never meant to carry. Pressure in the head is the stretching of your mind, preparing you for expanded consciousness and new revelation. Pain in the back reveals structures being broken and rebuilt within you. Fatigue that comes suddenly shows that old energies are being drained, so new strength can emerge. Heat or cold rushing through your body are signs of frequencies adjusting, recalibrating your temple for the next season. Do you see? What feels random is actually ordered. What seems meaningless is full of meaning. Your body is telling the truth your spirit already knows. Heaven has touched me. Do not think of this as punishment, far from it. The fact that your body responds means the spirit within you has already been reached. An altar only burns because fire has fallen upon it. Your pains are confirmation that heaven has already marked you. And notice this, those who are spiritually asleep rarely feel what you are feeling. Their bodies do not react because their spirits have not been awakened. But you cannot escape it. Because you are chosen, your temple is too sensitive to ignore heaven's movements. You are a vessel prepared for this. The body also holds memory. Every pain, every sensation, every shift becomes a witness inside of you. Later, when the season has passed, you will remember. In those days, I felt discomfort, but it was because I was being transformed. Your body itself will testify that you were realigned by heaven's hand. So, chosen one, do not curse the pain. Honor it. Say to yourself, if I feel it, it is because heaven has touched me. If it hurts, it is because something new is being formed. If I am stretched, it is because I am being expanded. This posture turns pain into prophecy, discomfort into testimony. And now I ask you, will you keep seeing your body as only flesh and bone, or will you recognize it as an altar? Will you resist what it reveals, or will you lean in and discern the language of heaven written in your very cells? Because here is the truth. What the world calls pain, heaven calls response. And every altar that responds proves the fire has already fallen. Chosen one, your body is not betraying you. It is announcing you. It is the first altar to testify that you have already been marked. How to cooperate with the alignment process. Chosen one, understanding the pains is one thing. But what truly determines whether you leave this season strengthened or drained is how you cooperate with the alignment process heaven is performing in you. Because it is not enough to simply feel, you must also respond. The first key to cooperation is acceptance, not resistance. Many, when faced with discomfort, immediately complain, fear, or interpret it as punishment. But the chosen know better. They understand that nothing is random, and pain often means realignment. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they breathe deeply and declare, "Let the process be completed in me." Resistance prolongs the process. Acceptance accelerates it. The second key is rest in the midst of transition. The body is signaling change, and sometimes the most spiritual act you can do is to stop. Many push themselves, ignoring what the body reveals, trying to keep pace with old rhythms. But heaven is not demanding performance. It is inviting alignment. If your body cries out for rest, then rest. If your spirit longs for silence, seek silence. To pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. The third key is listening to the body as a prophetic voice. Every symptom carries a message. A headache may mean your mind is being stretched for new revelation. Heaviness in the shoulders could be exposing burdens that are no longer yours to carry. Fatigue may be showing that old energies are leaving you. Instead of cursing the discomfort, lean into it. Ask, what are you trying to show me? The fourth key is aligning your habits to match the new frequency. Sometimes the body demands more water, more sleep, more stillness. Sometimes the spirit demands fewer distractions, cleaner environments, simpler routines. Cooperating with heaven is not only spiritual, it is practical. If heaven is fine-tuning you, then every part of your daily life must begin to reflect that adjustment. The fifth key is speaking life over the process. Your words are seeds. If you keep saying, "I am tired, I am broken, I cannot handle this," you empower the pain to feel heavier. But if you declare, "I am being aligned, I am being renewed, my body is a temple and heaven is adjusting me," then you create an atmosphere of healing. Even your cells respond to the vibration of your words. The sixth key is avoiding comparison. Each chosen one experiences the process differently. Some feel intense symptoms, others only subtle ones. Some have restless nights, others deep rest. Some cry, others laugh. Heaven tailors the alignment to each vessel. Comparing yourself to others only breeds confusion. Gratitude, however, allows you to embrace your own unique process. The seventh key is gratitude before the outcome. To say, "Thank you, Heaven, for aligning me through this discomfort," is to transform the weight into worship. Gratitude does not erase the pain immediately, but it breaks its power to control you. Pain without gratitude feels like punishment. Pain with gratitude feels like prophecy. Chosen one, cooperation means understanding that you are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being destroyed. You are being expanded. You are not under attack. You are being tuned like an instrument. A musician tightens the strings until they resonate with perfect pitch. It is uncomfortable, even tense, but necessary for harmony. In the same way, heaven is tightening, tuning, and refining you until you vibrate with its frequency. So I ask you, will you resist and cling to old structures, or will you cooperate and let the new be fully established? Will you curse the process, or will you join it? The truth is simple. The pain you feel today is not the end of your journey. It is the middle of your transformation. And those who cooperate do not only survive, they emerge lighter, stronger, and aligned with destiny. Chosen one, do not fight the process. Flow with it. For heaven has already decided you cannot live misaligned anymore. Chosen one, up to this point, we have spoken about how the body responds to heaven's movement. But you must understand, you are not just flesh. You are body, soul, and spirit. When heaven releases something new, it touches every layer of who you are. That is why your emotions and your spirit are also stirred in this season. Perhaps in these past days, you have felt waves of emotion you cannot explain. Sudden tears rising from nowhere, a deep joy that seems too great for the moment, a longing that has no name, restlessness so strong that you cannot stay still. These are not mood swings. These are signals. Your emotions are aligning with the shift that has already begun. Emotions are like water. They move when the wind blows, and when the Spirit of heaven blows stronger, the tides within you cannot stay calm. Tears overflow because the soul is releasing burdens it carried for too long. Laughter bursts because light has pierced through the shadows. Restlessness rises because your inner being knows you are being prepared for movement. These fluctuations are not instability, they are adjustment. But it is in the spirit where the transformation runs deepest. While the body aches and the emotions surge, the spirit is receiving new codes, new instructions, new awakenings. Your dreams become more vivid. Your intuition sharpens. You notice patterns, numbers, signs repeating around you. Even silence feels different, heavy, full of meaning, like heaven is speaking without words. The spirit is awake, and it is more sensitive than ever. This is why certain places feel heavier to you now, while others feel lighter. Why some people drain you, and others refresh you. Why you sense atmospheres shifting when you walk into a room. Your spirit is no longer blind. It is perceiving frequencies it once ignored. The pains in your body are one proof. The turbulence in your emotions is another. But the clarity in your spirit is the ultimate confirmation. Understand the order. The spirit feels first, the body responds next. The emotions interpret in between. This is why you feel pulled in every direction at once. But do not fear. This is not chaos. It is synchronization. All of you, body, soul, and spirit, are being tuned like instruments in an orchestra, aligning to the same heavenly melody. Chosen one, Do not resist your emotions. If you need to cry, cry. If joy rises, let it out. If longing comes, acknowledge it as heaven calling you higher. Do not shame your emotions, for they are not betraying you. They are translating what your spirit already knows. And above all, do not ignore the activations in your spirit, the dreams that stir you at night, the patterns that repeat in your day, the presence you suddenly feel in moments of stillness. These are not imagination. They are confirmations. The spirit within you is testifying, I have been touched by heaven. The full process is clear. Your body aches. Your emotions stir. Your spirit awakens. All three are witnesses of the same truth. You are being realigned. So I ask you, have you noticed the language of your emotions, or have you tried to silence them? Have you acknowledged the whisper of your spirit, or have you drowned it in noise? Because the chosen ones learn not to separate body, soul, and spirit, they know that heaven speaks through all of them. Chosen one, understand this mystery. The pains you feel are real. The emotions you experience are deep. The activations in your spirit are undeniable. Together, they testify that you are in a season of transformation. Heaven has not touched just one part of you. It has touched all of you. Chosen one, we have reached the final and deepest revelation of this message. You now understand that the body reacts as an altar, that the emotions rise like waves, and that the spirit awakens with new clarity. But here lies the mystery you must carry with you beyond this day. The pain you are feeling is not only pain, it is prophecy. The world looks at pain as weakness, as something to escape or silence. But the chosen ones know a greater truth. There are pains that do not come to destroy, but to announce. Every discomfort, every heaviness, every ache running through your body in these days is whispering a hidden message. Heaven has already begun something in you. Pain becomes prophecy because it reveals what is still unseen but already forming. Think of a woman in labor. Her contractions are not a sign of death, but of life ready to be born. In the same way, the pains in your body are not the end. They are the first evidence that birth is near, that what was promised is about to emerge. The stronger the pressure, the closer the manifestation. It is time to shift how you interpret what you feel. If you look with only natural eyes, you will call it suffering. But if you look with spiritual eyes, you will recognize every ache as a divine signal. Pain is not lowering you, it is lifting you. It is not your enemy, it is your witness. And it is not just personal. The fact that so many chosen ones around the world are experiencing the same pains in this very season shows that this prophecy is collective. Heaven is moving across a generation, and the bodies of the chosen are bearing the same testimony at the same time. It is not coincidence, it is confirmation. An entire people is being awakened, and the pain is the sound of their birthing cries. Chosen one, pain is prophecy because it does not lie. You may doubt a dream, dismiss a vision, or explain away a sign, but you cannot deny what your body feels. Pain demands recognition. It makes you stop, reflect, and ask, what does this mean? And the answer is simple. It means you have already been touched. So do not curse your pain. Honor it. Say to yourself, if I feel it, it is because heaven is shaping me. If it hurts, it is because something greater is being formed. If I am stretched, it is because I am being expanded to carry the new. This attitude transforms pain into prophecy, discomfort into testimony, pressure into proof. Here is the promise: the pain will not last forever. Just as the labor ends when new life emerges, these aches will fade when the birth is complete. But what is born from them will remain forever. You will not look back on this season as punishment, but as a turning point. You will say, in those days my body hurt, but it was because heaven was rewriting me. That was the season where everything shifted. What was once unbearable will become unforgettable. What feels heavy today will be remembered as holy tomorrow. The pain that pressed you will stand as the evidence that you were marked. And so I ask you, will you resist and treat this pain as meaningless? Or will you embrace it as prophecy? Will you reject the sign, or will you let it strengthen your faith that heaven has already chosen you? Chosen one, take this with you. The pain you feel today is the prophecy of the glory that will be revealed tomorrow. It is not the end. It is the beginning. It is not destruction. It is preparation. It is not illness. It is the seal of heaven. And on this September the 23rd, heaven declares, the chosen feel it in their bodies because they have already been touched in their spirits. And those who feel it have already been marked.